Welcome to Built to Last. I'm your host, Eric Schwarze. This show is all about what it really takes to build quality homes, strong communities, and lasting relationships. Today we're going to step outside the home and talk about one of the most important but sometimes overlooked aspects of a custom home, the landscape design. Your landscaping is an important part of the first impression people get when they arrive, and it's also the outdoor space you and your family will live in every day. Joining me today is Kristina Arnold with MDM Landscaping, a partner whom we trust in helping us to design, install, and provide the landscaping for our custom homes. Welcome to the show today, Kristina. We're glad to have you aboard.
Thank you, Eric. I'm excited to be here.
Well, let's get right into it, so to speak. So, Kristina, let's kind of start with the big picture. Why is landscaping design such an important part of a custom home?
That's a great question, Eric. So for landscape designers consider many things when designing, from drainage to irrigation, overall functionality that can even create more living spaces for a home. And finally, it can frame it, enhancing the home's inherent architecture and putting that final polish.
I always like to see the plants go in, because up until this point, everything's dead, basically. When your landscaping goes in, you're bringing color and life to the home, and I really like that process. So you mentioned several things in there, and let's kind of break them down. Let's talk about plants a little bit. If I'm a homeowner, tell me what I need to be thinking about when I'm going to meet you to talk about the plants going in my home.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So when considering plants, landscape designers first would consider what style the homeowner is looking for, what will enhance the home, and what will fit the homeowner's lifestyle and the overall look that they're going for. Second, I'd consider color palettes for plant selection. And then finally, and perhaps most importantly, the mature size of plants is very important to consider. For example, we were on site the other day and a customer talked about how she wanted an ornamental tree in front of a window, but did not want that window to be blocked in 5 years. So moving forward with this customer, we will be considering what the mature size of the ornamental tree for this space is going to be.
It's an excellent point. And I do remember that meeting very well, because she wanted it to be up to a certain height, but did not block, X amount of the window space. All right, let's jump to the next part. Now, a lot of folks would not think that grading and drainage would be part of landscaping. They might think that would be tied into another part. And obviously, we do grading before you come in with your landscaping. But how is the grading and drainage tied in with your job?
That's an excellent question. So grading and drainage are important because where the water's going to fall from the sky regardless. Not very often in Texas, but it's going to happen. Now, where that water goes once it's fallen onto your landscape is very important to consider. That's where the grading comes in. Because if you don't tell where the water if you don't tell the water where it's going to go, it will decide for you. And we want to make that choice before it does. So by telling the water where to go, that prevents erosion on the landscape. It makes sure that plants that don't need a lot of water don't get it. And plants that do need more water, for example, hydrangeas, they would greatly benefit from being at the bottom of a slope.
All right. Well, that's good. Those are the things that that we don't know. We know how to nail a 2x4 together, but we don't necessarily know how much water each plant. And that's why we have trusted partners like you. Now, there's something else that you mentioned. We've talked about the bushes, the greenery, the drainage. Hardscape is becoming a big deal nowadays, where we have different features like that. Talk to us a little bit about hardscape in the design package.
Absolutely. So landscape design can even create additional living spaces for your home, for your backyard most often, but even your front yard, where you can sit on a patio and enjoy a morning cup of coffee in the shade of a tree. All of that is something landscape designers consider when they're working. So in the backyard, you can have outdoor kitchens, fire pits, additional patios, If you have tremendous slopes on your property, then you can have multiple terraces and different entertaining spaces in your backyard. All of those are tremendously important things to consider.
That is great information. Now, there's a lot of times, just say if we were at the street, there can be some smaller details, not as big as a tree, that can really sharpen up or focus the landscaping. What are some of those small details that people can think about?
Well, outside of the initial softscape, the plants is going to be the final touches that oftentimes is the last thing that gets installed for landscape beds, which was going to be your bed coverings and your edging. So edging ties everything in the landscape to the architecture of the home, most often matching the brick on the house with the brick of the edging, or clean lines with black steel edging. And your bed covering would be your mulch or even stones. And adding those two things bring instant visual impact to your landscape.
Excellent. Well, I'm going to ask you the last question, Kristina, that I like to ask all of our professionals. To me or to anyone out there that's considering a home, whether it's from Maykus or anyone else, when they're approaching this stage of their home build and home design, what's the best piece of advice you would give them in picking their landscaping?
The best piece of advice I would give to a homeowner is going to be upfront and consider how much maintenance they're willing to put into the landscape. That is really going to inform choices landscape designers make when selecting plants. Mature sizes, like I said, but also how much trimming is a tree going to need, or a boxwood hedge. So by being upfront about what level of maintenance, how many times you want to mow your lawn, or how often you want to pull weeds. Most of us don't. So by taking that into account, that can really inform design choices moving forward.
Well, Kristina, we certainly appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to be with us today. I know you came right out of the field out here to join us, and we certainly appreciate it. You know, it's so easy to just think of a new custom home as being the structure, but it's not. It's the whole package from inside to outside, and folks like Kristina really help the drive-up appeal and, as she said, the framework of the custom homes that we put together. Well, we appreciate all of you guys out there taking time out to join us today. Please come back and listen to the next episode, whether you watch it or listen to it. Feel free to call us at 817-308-1155. We're excited about what we do, and we love to show people our neighborhoods and homes. So you guys take care, and we'll see you next time.